Just off the motorway between Glasgow and Perth lies the village of Agricola, a sleepy wee place with a big secret. So follow me through the village, we'll park at the bridge and I'll see you at the gate. And here it is, the Pack Horse Bridge, just outside Agricola. Say it was repaired in the 1780s, it must be a fair age. Okay, so this is the gate just inside the fort, and this is how you get up to the fort. Okay, there's no steps, follow the path and try not to fall. Fortunately it's not muddy, I'm going to try and scramble up here and haver at the same time. And already we can see fortification. This place is vast. Hi and welcome back to Travels in Pictland. Before we go any further, this isn't the video about the stone, okay? That's still in the pipeline. But today we're at another gem in Perthshire. We're about 2 miles off the main road between Glasgow and Perth, and we're quite near Gleneagles golf course. But I'm standing in the gate system of a very well preserved Roman fort called Ardoch, and it's near the village of Agricola. And this is reckoned to be one of the best preserved Roman fort sites in Britain, possibly Northern Europe. It's quite a place. This is the only way I could figure out to show you the fort's defences. They're absolutely massive. And you can see how tiny I am compared to these fortifications. Remember that these tribes had known about the Romans. I mean, this wasn't news to them. The Romans had arrived further south in about AD 55, and they came up here nearly 30 years later. So, you know, there'd been conquests of tribes all the way up into what's now Scotland. So the tribes knew what they were doing, you know, they knew that they couldn't take the Romans on really in open warfare, but they could do guerrilla warfare, which is what they really excelled at. So after the Romans left in round about AD 90, they came back on subsequent occasions over the next 200 or 300 years and reused this site. Roman forts were generally built on plans from a manual which was produced, I believe, during the time of the Emperor Flavian. And the gate system at Ardoch is apparently known as a Flavian gate, and it was a complex system ensuring the security of the fort. I believe it had two kind of entrances, and they could control the ingress and egress or in and out of the fort itself. The fort would have had these 6 or 7 massive ditches, and the closer you got to the fort, these ditches would have had wooden palisades on the top, possibly with spikes and stuff like that. And on the corners of the fort there would be watchtowers as well, and a watchtower at the central gate, the Flavian gate. Anyway, that's a wee bit to give you the flavour of the Flavian Here I am in the bottom of one of these huge perimeter ditches, and you can see how deep this is. After centuries of rubbish that have filled it up, it's still higher than me, and I'm nearly 6 foot tall. So how deep were these in the time of Agricola and his successors? The scale of this place just amazes me. While I'm here, I should really get on my normal hobby horse, but there's no signposts for this place. People drive past it on their daily commute every day, have no idea that it's here. It's an amazing place. There's a couple of spaces to park. There are no facilities, and there's hardly anyone here. Some of the locals walk their dogs now and again, and that's about your lot. Well, thanks for watching Travels in Pictland. That was Ardèche Roman fort. Here's a sign to prove it. Another couple of things about the fort. It housed about 1,000 people, so it'll have had barracks, it'll have had storehouses, a hospital, bathhouses. So the fort will have been laid out on exactly the same lines as all the other forts of that size in that period, I would imagine. It'll have had a central sort of governor's building in the middle, and everything else would span out from that. What an amazing place. Please come and see it. Hardly anyone ever comes here. I've hardly seen a soul here all day, and it's an amazing place. Great if you're a Roman fan, great if you're a Pictish fan, or just a tourist wanting a good look around. These things are free, they're all over Scotland. You come and see them. So, General Agricola established his most northern frontier here on the Gask Ridge, and the Gask Ridge frontier was about 30 miles long and ended up at Bertha Fort near the town of Perth, where they had a substantial river crossing and possibly a bridge, although there's no evidence to prove that. Anyway, I thought I'd just bring you up here to kind of round off the story of Ardèche, to show it was only part of the massive military system that the Romans built round about AD 80 to try and subdue these tribes up here. Anyway. I can't really make out much here, but I can assure you that's like we're in the ditch round the tower, and this is the spot where the tower was, and you can see there's some kind of marks in the ground, but there's nothing for sure. Of course, we don't know if there were any attacks on the frontier. There's no any records of that, but I'm sure there must have been lots of skirmishes and trade. This was the most northern frontier of the Roman Empire, after all. I've never seen this before. There's a sign saying no metal detecting. Protected place. Quite right too. When the Romans finally left Ardèche after the final campaign up here, a religious group called the Chaldees, a sort of shadowy Christian group who didn't owe their allegiance to Rome, but rather to the Desert Fathers and those early Christians in Egypt. Anyway, they set up a hospice for travellers right in the middle of the old fort, which I think was quite common, and it was also in keeping with St. Anthony, who also set up in an old Roman fort. So that's the Chaldees, and we'll probably hear more about them when I go to Resteneth Priory soon. Hi, thanks for watching Travels in Pictland. A special thanks to those of you who've just subscribed to the channel, and a massive thanks to those of you who've doggedly stuck with me, even in the year where I put out virtually nothing. Anyway, we're back online. This is the third video in our new season. Hopefully there'll be a few more. I hope you're enjoying it. Please comment, send me comments. I will do my best to reply. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't, and please hit like and, you know, share this stuff with your friends. I hope you can come one day and share all this stuff videos. So there you go. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.